Hello and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, and we're going to be doing the top 10 suits of light armor. So a lot of people have been requesting armor videos. I wasn't exactly sure how to take this one, but I figured it would be probably most fun, or at least most useful, to start off with some top 10 lists where I just talk about stats and show you them and kind of tell you how to get them. So we're probably not going to take long on each set. So if you want something more specific or detailed guides or something wilder and wackier, let me know and I will see what I can do. But for now, this is where we're at. So, starting us off with number 10. At number 10, we have the Chainmail Armor, which is a fairly basic suit of armor that becomes available right away at the beginning of the game. So it's obviously made up of 5 pieces, as all of the sets in this video will be. If they don't have 5 matching pieces, I do not consider them. So there are quite a few sets of armor that might be comparable to some of the ones you're going to be seeing on here stat-wise, but basically the variation is that they have a unique helmet or a unique cuirass, and the rest of it is the same. Those I will not be included. I'm only looking at full sets. So anyway, the Chainmail suit of armor, as you can see, we have a total armor value of 55.5 when equipped. Keep in mind that when completely naked, we have an armor value of 15, so that means that the actual armor value of this is only 40.5. But that being said, we're just going to focus on the visible armor value for each of these sets to keep things simple. And this one, like I said, is readily available right away when you start the game. Every Imperial City Guard, well, other than the, Imperial Legionnaires, basically city guards, are going to be wearing it, so you can loot it from fallen guards, or you'll be able to buy pieces of it at city smiths, like the best defense in the Imperial City. It's very, very easy and quick to start finding this right away at the beginning of the game, and it is an immediate upgrade over the 3 other types, or full sets of light armor in the game, which are the fur armor, which is the lowest level one, and then the rough leather armor and the leather armor, which are both tied for the number 2 lowest spot. So the chainmail armor is the first full set that is an upgrade over any of them, and like I said, it's real easy to get right away at the beginning of the game, either through buying it or looting it in various spots. So that's number 10. Let's move on to number 9. Coming in at number 9, we have the light variant of the Imperial Dragon Armor. So you can see it right before you here. Pretty fancy looking set that I'm sure most people who have played the game are probably familiar with, or at least one of these Imperial Dragon Armor sets, since there are 2 variants. As for the pieces that make up this set, again, we have a full 5, so they have the Imperial Dragon Boots, Cuirass, Gauntlets, Greaves, and Helmet. You can see that our total armor value here is 55.5, so it's exactly the same as the Chainmail. A bit of a letdown considering this is, I wouldn't say endgame armor, but it is the end of the main quest reward armor. So as far as how you get your hands on this one, spoiler alert I guess, is you have to finish the main quest, so you have to solve the Oblivion Crisis, and then wait 14 in-game days. I did that. It takes forever. It feels like you're doing it forever to get it done, but trust me, if you wait 14 in-game days, it will happen. And then Chancellor Okato will send you to the Imperial Legion Armory in the prison district to pick up your reward. You receive the light version automatically if your light armor skill is higher than heavy when you talk to Okato. So that is important. If you want the light variant or you want the heavy variant, keep in mind that it will automatically be determined based on which armor skill that you have at the time that is higher. So if you've been focusing on light armor, it will automatically be the light variant. If you've been focusing on heavy armor, it will automatically be the heavy variant. So that is the light Imperial Dragon Armor. Like I said, stat-wise, it's the same as the Chainmail Armor. I just placed it ahead of it because, obviously it looks way cooler, and does come with all of those enchantment perks. So you can see for the boots, we have that resist frost on self. For the Cuirass, it's resist magic. For the gauntlets, it's resist poison. For the greaves, it's resist fire. And for the helmet, it's resist shock. So you can obviously enchant any armor you have, but this one comes pre-enchanted with decent strength enchantments and has the same stats as the chainmail. That's why I placed it ahead. But that is number 9. Let's move on to number 8. All right, coming in at number 8, we have the Mithril Armor, which you can see our guy wearing right here. So obviously, it's a pretty fancy looking one. I've always been a big fan of the aesthetic style of the Mithril Armor, and I think that would be fairly obvious. Inspiration-wise, it always reminded me of sort of a cross between the Gondorian armor in the films of the Lord of the Rings and the high Elven style that's described in the Lord of the Rings. So, like I said, I've always thought that it was a pretty cool looking suit of light armor. As far as pieces, once again, we have all matching pieces for all 5 slots, which, is a prerequisite to being on this list, so that shouldn't be too surprising. And aesthetically speaking, like I said, it's obviously got the fantasy dialed up on it, but it does look like an improved version of the chainmail armor. So, for armor value on this one, we are at 58.5, being just slightly better than both the chainmail and the light Imperial Dragon Armor. Armor. As far as getting your hands on the Mithril Armor, it's fairly simple. It first starts showing up in all of your leveled lists, so in shops and on bandits, once you reach level 10. Black Bow bandits at Fathus Aaron's Tower or Apple Watch have an elevated chance to wear this, so if you're specifically looking for it, starting at level 10, that would be where I would recommend checking to, try and grind out a set if you haven't already. So those will be early or ideal early game farming spots. Otherwise, like I said, once you get to level 10, it'll start showing up in all the leveled lists, so it becomes likely that you'll find it in stores and, on highwaymen and stuff like that. So there isn't a set location that I know of where you can get a full set of it, like most of the, basic loot in this game, but it is fairly easy to get your hands on a full set starting at level 10. So that is the Mithril Armor at number 8. Let's move on to number 7. Coming in at number 7, we've got a unique set of armor here, the Brusef Amelion Armor. So this one is stylistically pretty cool looking. I like that it has a slightly more grounded and maybe even a little bit Nordic influence for the armor, and it does appear to be plate armor, but it still falls under the light armor class, so it's always been a set that I'm a big fan of, or at least always since the first time I got it. Yeah, aesthetically speaking, I quite like this one. As far as what it's made up of, it's mostly unenchanted stuff. The Curus comes with a frost shield, but the rest of it is unenchanted and can be enchanted however you want. Armor value for the set is 61.5, so another step up from the last one, being a couple points better than the Mithril Armor. As far as getting your hands on Brusef Amelion's Armor, this one is a unique set, and so it is quest related, and this one will have to do with the Fighters Guild, and the specific quest in the Fighters Guild is called Amelion's Debt. So in this quest, you're going to be heading to Brusef Amelion's tomb, which is east of Water's Edge, and the cuirass, greaves, boots, and gauntlets are all in the final burial chamber, and you're allowed to keep them. You just gotta make sure you pay BN Amelion with gold instead of returning the artifact. So recovering the armor is going to be part of the quest, and the understanding is that you give it back, but you could just pay for it instead, and that way you get to keep the unique armor, which obviously, in my opinion, is the correct thing to do, because it's a unique and quite good suit of armor, and there's no other way to get it, well, I guess other than like console commands or mod or something. But for most people, that's the only way to get it, is just to keep it. So you will have to do the Fighters Guild quest if you want to get your hands on it, but I like the Fighters Guild, so that's not really a negative in my opinion. And like I said, pretty dang cool looking. Always liked this one. So that's number 7, Brusef Amelion's Armor. Let's move on to number 6. Coming in at number 6, we have the Elven Armor, so another stock set of just regular leveled loot. But this one is pretty stereotypical for Elder Scrolls Elven Armor. We've got a lot of that heavy gold influence going on and some needlessly swoopy and sticky-outy aspects, especially at the top of the helmet and on the pauldrons in particular. And interestingly, because it is a light armor variant, it also means your mid-arm protection is lacking. Aesthetically speaking, I've never been a huge fan of the Elven Armor, but it definitely fits the arrogant aesthetic of, elves in the Elder Scrolls. So I have to appreciate it for that. As far as items and stats, we obviously have all 5 matching pieces, and again, like everything on this or in this video, it's going to be at 125% for the condition of the armor. Our armor value for the Elven set is 69, which of course is quite nice. This one is, like I said, leveled loot, so it'll start appearing on bandits and in loot tables like stores once you reach level 12, so that doesn't take very long. And one way to be getting your hands on this one relatively early is you can do a quick haul in the Umbacano Manor in the Imperial City in the Talos Plaza district. After midnight, there's a bandit there that you can take out who has this armor on, and so you can fairly quickly get it that way. Otherwise, bandit chiefs in forts like Fort Nickel and Fort Greenrock also tend to spawn with complete suits of Elven Armor once you reach level 12. So there's a couple really easy ways to target and grind for it. But other than that, like I said, once you've reached level 12, there's a chance you'll loot it or be able to buy it pretty much anywhere. So, not difficult to get your hands on, and if you love that shiny gold elven aesthetic, this is what you got for light armor. So that's number 6. Let's move on to number 5. And coming in at number 5, we've got another personal favorite set for me, and it is the Morag Tong Armor. So this one is added as part of the Mehrunes Razor plugin, but that should be stock with the special edition, and I say should be because it was for me, but I have not confirmed that it is everywhere. But it is basically just a souped up version of leather armor that plays really well for my stealth archer, thief/assassin playstyle that I like so very, very much in Elder Scrolls game. As far as the items that make up this one, it is 4 pieces of armor, and then the cowl is technically a piece of clothing, but it goes with the set in name and effects. So for that reason alone, it still had to be included on this list because, like I said, it's one of my absolute favorite suits of armor. So you can see that we do have an armor value with this one of 72, and it also has a lot of enchantments that come on these ones. So for the boots, we get Fortify Acrobatics and Sneak on self. For the cowl, we get Fortify Marksman and Detect Life on self. For the Curus, we have Fortify Agility, Resist Normal Weapons, and Resist Magic on self. For the gloves, we have Fortify Security and Fortify Luck on self, and for the greaves, we have Fortify Speed and Feather on self. So like I said, it's got all of the enhancements or I should say enchantments that I like in my playstyle. So there's a lot of reasons why I like the Morag Tong's armor, other than the fact that we do still have a really good, we made it into the top 5 overall for best suits of armor in the game with this one at 72. So it's both very good light armor, and it has all those enchantments on it that make it so good for, most light armor playstyles. But anyway, like I said, this one is normally added by the Mehrunes Razor plugin, and if you want to get your hands on it, you enter Sundercliff Watch during the quest Unearthing Mehrunes Razor, and the higher rank Morag Tong assassins, as well as Captain Dram Baka, each wear portions of the set. And so while you're going through doing that mission, you just have to be killing them and looting them. And if you loot every corpse on your way to the Razor, you'll be able to pick up a full suit in one run. So it's not too hard to get. You do have to do the mission for it, but I think it's well worth it for one of the best suits of light armor in the game. So that's number 5. Let's move on to number 4. At number 4, we have the Light Armor of Order. And so this one is a fairly cool looking suit. We've got a lot of different stuff going on. I hate the helmet, but other than that, I like most of what's going on with the suit of armor, because we have that red with gold accents for the undergarments, and then all of the gold and blued silver on top of it. Obviously, those colors go together rather well to make a very good looking suit of armor. As far as pieces, once again, we have a matching suit, so all of these, all 5 of them are going to match. Keep in mind there are 2 different variants of Armor of Order, and one of them is heavy, one of them's light. This one is the light variant. They look very, very similar, but obviously have different stats and are classed differently. So these are unenchanted, so you can enchant them. They have a armor value of 82.5, giving them, significantly better armor value than even the Morag Tong armor. And honestly, like I said, other than the helmet, aesthetically, one of my favorite looking suits in the game. They look awesome. Well, for a high fantasy setting. But that aside, if you want to get your hands on this one, it is really easy in the remaster. So this was, to the best of my knowledge, added during the Shivering Isles DLC. So during the Grey March, you can get your hands on this, and you'll defeat knights that will occasionally drop single pieces of it, and so you can kind of just loot it over time, as well as, finding it in chests and obelisks and other stuff like that. So if you want to get your hands on it the traditional way, or at least the way that I was used to doing it way back in the day when I first played the game, that's the way to do it. However, in this playthrough, I got it really, really early because of this mission right here, Saving Time Itself. For me, this mission popped up pretty much right away when I was at Kvatch, and some guy ran up to me and asked me for help, and I talked to him, and it started this quest that I then completed a little bit after that first main story mission. And so, in doing so, once I got to the end of Saving Time Itself, I just talked to him, and he gave me all of the armor and all of the weapons for order. So he gave me, he offered it as a reward, and I was able to claim a full suit of heavy armor, a full suit of light armor, and all of the weapons. So I had them relatively early in the game because of that. So if you don't want to wait until you get to the Shivering Isles, or, to the point where you start doing that, you can get this right away at the beginning of the main game by completing this mission, Saving Time Itself. So that is how you can get your hands on the Light Armor of Order. But that's number 4. Let's move on to number 3. Coming in at number 3, we have the Glass Armor, which has that stereotypical Elder Scrolls aesthetic of glass to it, which apparently means a totally opaque or maybe barely translucent green armor, which I always get a kick out of that. But is what it is. If you can get aside from the mental block of wearing glass into combat, then this is definitely the suit for you. As far as stats and stuff, it of course has 5 matching pieces, which is a prerequisite for being on this list, but I'm so used to saying it by now that I can't stop. And we have an armor value of 82.5, so it's actually the same as the Light Armor of Order. It's just that this one is maybe slightly more iconic, and of course very, very easy to get once you've reached the right level. So as far as getting your hands on this one, it starts spawning once you reach level 20. So all of your leveled lists, which is store inventories, bandits, stuff like that, they will start wearing this once you reach level 20. As far as the fastest farming method that I'm aware of for getting to this one, getting this suit of armor once you get to level 20, it's going to be the location Rock Milk Cave, which is just northwest of Leyawiin, where highwaymen and marauders often wear full glass sets of armor. So once you've gotten to level 20, if you head to Rock Milk Cave, that's probably the best way to get your hands on it quickly. Alternatively, you can of course buy pieces from stores like the Best Defense in the Imperial City, or from Rashida in Coral once you hit level 20. So like I said, all of your normal ways for getting regular leveled loot in the game are going to be how you get this one. You just have to be level 20 for glass armor. So that's number 3. Let's move on to number 2. Coming in at number 2, we have the perfect variant of the Amber Armor. So this one is going to come from the Shivering Isles DLC. So if you've never played that, that would explain why you've never seen this. But I feel like most people have, considering I feel like it's common knowledge that most people agree that Shivering Isles is the best thing that Oblivion did. So, with that being said, the items on this one, once again, are going to be a 5 matching set, so we're going to have all of the pieces filled in with it, and you'll be able to delineate the perfect Amber Armor from all of the other variants by the fact that it says perfect. These do come well, there are 2 different variants of these, and you can get the enchanted ones or the regular ones. I have the enchanted set on, and so they come with this, but you can also get perfect Amber Armor that is unenchanted and then enchanted however you see fit. So, keep that in mind. As far as stats on this one, it is at 85, which is tied for the highest. I decided to place it at number 2 instead of number 1, which is probably the conventional knowledge, because I like the other set better, and it has the same stats, and you can get it earlier and easier, so that would be why I consider it to be a better suit of armor. But with all that being said, if you can get past the slightly weird aesthetic of Amber Armor, I think it looks alright, and stats are obviously quite good at 85. So, if you want to get your hands on this one, like I said, it's part of the Shivering Isles DLC. The quest that you have to complete to get your hands on this one is called the Antipodian Hammer. So once Dumag Grobunk in New Sheoth opens the forge, bring him a perfect amber matrix plus 16 pieces of perfect amber ore, which will only spawn once your character is at level 23 or higher. And once you've brought that to him, you can commission every piece of this suit of armor, and then you just have to return after 24 in-game hours to pick up the completed set. So that is how you get your hands on the perfect amber armor. You have to get it crafted for you. Once you get to a high enough level that you can actually get your hands on perfect amber ore and do it that way. But it is story locked to, like I said, the Antipodian Hammer. So it's not too hard to get, and it is part of, a really fun quest line. So I definitely recommend going for it. But I like the number 1 suit better. So that's number 2. Let's move on to number 1. And at number 1, we have the light variant of the Armor of the Crusader, which is part of the Knights of the Nine pilgrimage quest line. So I absolutely love this set. It definitely fits more into the, less into fantasy than most of the other ones. There's obviously still some inaccurate depictions here in this suit of armor, but it hits much closer to historical authenticity, which automatically makes me like it a lot more than the only other suit of armor that shares its stats, which is the perfect amber armor, which is insanely fantasy. So this one is definitely much better for my personal armor sensibilities. As far as stats and such, we have a stat of 82.5 on this one, so I may have oversold the fact that it matches the perfect amber armor. It actually matches the glass armor and the light armor of order, but I don't have something to defend it. I still think it's better. Anyway, as far as enchantments on these, since all these pieces were enchanted when I picked them up, we have Fortify Restoration on self for the boots. For the Curus, we've got Fortify Restoration, Resist Normal Weapons, and Fortify Health. The Gauntlets of the Crusader come with Fortify Restoration and Resist Disease. The Greaves come with Fortify Restoration and Fortify Destruction, and the Helm comes with Fortify Restoration and Fortify Personality. So, definitely some pretty good enhancements to this that make it even better than the raw armor value would have you believe. As far as getting your hands on the light armor of the Crusader, you have to complete the entire Knights of the Nine pilgrimage and relic quest. The relics that you pull from each shrine adopt the weight class that matches your higher armor skill. So just like the Imperial Dragon Armor, this will be automatically determined based on your highest armor level, whether that's heavy or light, and that will give you your direct results. However, that's only when you first pick them up. If you finish Priory of the Nine, which is, the main overlying quest in the Knights of the Nine series, and also Umaril the Unfeathered, which is the final quest, then you reassemble the set on the armor stand in the Priory's Chapel, down in the basement. You can then claim the light variant either way. So that is how you can get your hands on the light variant of the Crusader armor. Like I said, it's personally my favorite suit of light armor in the entire game. I like it more than the Perfect Amber armor, even though the stats are just slightly less good. But appearance-wise and enchantment-wise, it makes it just a tremendously good suit of armor. So that is the top 10. I hope you enjoyed this video. I plan on making one for heavy armor. I just have to do some more quests to make sure I actually have all the suits I want to include on that list. But if you have any specific requests for anything else, even if it's nothing like this, let me know. But that's all for today, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.